Heck of a basketball game. You know, I've always said from the start of the year, and those that have covered us know, I've said this is a gritty team. They've got a lot of grit about them. And they had it again tonight. Got 21 down and found a way to fight their way back to 11 at halftime, and then played even early in the second half, and then went on a run. And in large part due to how they played, large part to this environment we have here, which is second to none. Our fans get behind us. You know, you get 21 down in some buildings, you're going to get booed. They don't boo us. They hang in there with us. They know these are young kids playing their hearts out, and they make mistakes. And we made a lot of them in the first half. We had 11 turnovers in the first half, and we were just trying to go too fast. You know, when they make 15 threes for a game out of 31 shots, you think you're not going to win. That's a hard thing to overcome. But we found a way to do it. And when they got ahead early, it was a lot like Air Force. You know, we tried to go too fast. We tried to get 10 points in one possession, and that wasn't going to happen. And as we settled in, started running a little bit more offense, sharing the ball, moving it a little bit more, we found opportunities to score. And we weren't perfect, but I thought we moved the ball better the second half. I think we had 16 assists. And Nick Boyd had an incredible line. You know, he has 9 rebounds. He has 5 assists, also with the points he scored. So Nick had a really full floor game tonight for us. So proud of Nick. And I got on Byrd. I was hard on Byrd. I was hard on him in a timeout in the first half. And I told him at halftime he had to play better. Wasn't happy with the way he was playing. He was pressing his game too hard. And he responded, you know. And I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think he could handle it. You know, he's in his third year of the program, and, you know, I got on him a little bit, and maybe too much more than I should have. But to his credit, he came out and performed really well in the second half and kind of hit timely threes and got the momentum going for us. So good home victory against a San Jose team that plays everybody close. They just haven't got over the hurdle. Every game they play in is like this, where they have a chance to win it down the stretch, and they just haven't gotten over the hurdle. But they're a good team, and they're really good offensively.
Coach, what was the difference in the second half on slowing down Magoon? I mean, he only had 5 points in the second half. He had 16 going into the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, we knew he could shoot, but we played him as a driver. He's a dynamic driver. And so when he opens a game making 3 threes right away, it's like, wow, you know, now we got to change our game plan. I think we changed our game plan 3 times. You know, to start the game, we were going to jump out and hard hedge on ball screens, and then the guys didn't like it. They said, we got to switch. Then we started switching ball screens, and I looked up and I told them, you're the ones that wanted to switch, and you're not switching. 2 guys are running to the same guy. So you make your mind up. And at the end, we just went drop defense. So we tried to play 3 different defenses, but we knew he was rolling. I thought we did a better job paying attention to him, but he had a fantastic game. He's a very good player. I mean, he's got a conference championship from last year at Utah State. It was a big reason they won, 6th man of the year in the conference last year. So he's just, you know, continued to develop his game, and he's a really good player.
What were you most upset with Miles about?
Just pressing the first side of the floor sometimes, you know, wanting to score and make plays. It wasn't selfish. He's just such a dynamic player. He can make plays. But on the first pin down of the first ball screen, he was going into traffic. He was going into 2 or 3 defenders, where the play was just to move it, and it'll find its way back to you. I thought the second half he moved it better, and it found its way back to him. You know, and that's just, you know, young players pressing their game. So obviously Miles is a dynamic player, and I wanted to press his game at times. Maybe on the broken floor, things like that. But when the defense is set and he's playing into traffic, he's got to know that and move on and get it back on the second or third side.
How hard has these last few weeks been for him with all the NBA talk, choosing an agent? All those things can be a huge distraction for a guy who's really young.
Yeah, he's such a good player. He's such a good person. You know, I don't see it affecting him. You know, he's just a young player developing. So that's more of it than I think distractions or NBA talk or agent talk. I think it's just being a young player continuing to develop his game. And I think his game will grow this year. It's gotten better from the start, and it will get better. But you have to have nights like this where you can go back and show him on tape, you know, Miles, as good as you are, you know, you're the top guy on the scouting report now, so you're going to draw 2 and 3 defenders. I used to have that talk with Jalen McDaniels. You know, when he went from a role player to the star player, they started doubling him, and I told him, now you have to become a player. You have to get others involved, pass the ball, and it will find its way back to you. And he went on to play in the NBA. So Miles can be the same guy. He's got to know that defenders are keying on him, so he can't score every time he gets it. He has to be an assist guy, which he was at Nevada when he had 7 assists. So he's shown that he's growing his game, and that's what I want to see.
What have you seen from Magoon in the last 2 years that's allowed him to be so successful?
Just confidence. I think anybody out there would say, boy, he doesn't look like he's afraid to be out there. He makes every play on the floor. Not afraid to shoot it, not afraid to drive it, gets in there and rebounds. He'll set the screen. So he's just, he's in the second half of his freshman year, and so he's showing strides where he's more comfortable. I think that's the main thing. He's more comfortable on the floor. He's used to seeing things now for the second and third time of the season. They're in their gaps. He knows how to drive and kick. He knows when to attack. So he's getting a better feel for game minutes. And so he continues to grow, and we continue to get better.
Speak to how your underclassmen posts, stepped up and performed in a game where senior Jared Coleman-Jones wasn't dressed.
Yeah, Heidi stepped up and did a good job, and then Farrell came in, and they're still figuring it out. But Heidi's had back-to-back really good games at Nevada, and then followed up here, and he's rebounded. And I know I want him to score more in the post, back down, especially as a smaller defender. But he made a really good move in the second half. He missed one, but he had a second opportunity. He didn't shy away from it. Even though he missed the first one, he didn't shy away from the second opportunity. Back down, hit a jump hook. So Heidi's getting confidence too. And so as he grows in confidence, his game will get better.
What's the update on Jared?
Jared's had this shoulder, and it's been in his past. He separates it, and it slips out on him. And it happened early in the year, and we rehabbed and got him back. And it happened at Nevada. His shoulder slipped out. And so now we're rehabbing and seeing if we can tighten it up as good as we can right now. Surgery is something that may happen down the road for him, but not right now. So we'll try to rehab him, get him in a brace. And if we can't have him for Wyoming, it's a good time because then we have our bye week. So we play Saturday, then we have 7 days till our next game. So hopefully maybe we can get him back. If not, we'll have enough time to hopefully rehab him and get him ready for that stretch run of the season.
What was the thinking behind starting Heidi instead of Farrell?
Just start the guy with a little bit more experience, start the sophomore over the freshman. And I think, they end up playing pretty comparable minutes. Farrell played, what did he play? He played 12 and Heidi played 27. So, no, I was looking at Taj's minute. Taj played 24. So, you throw him out there, and the one that's playing better, you stay with. And I thought Heidi was playing a little bit better, maybe more reliable as far as knowing what his responsibilities were than Farrell, but that can flip the very next game. Farrell's proven to be a very good player, too. So whoever continues to battle in practice and prove they're deserving of those minutes will get them.
Miles made it a point to bring up Miles Heidi. Maybe we were down the answer. I don't know if you heard that.
Yes.
What is it about his kind of game that makes guys really love playing with him?
I just think, this team has a sense for people, and they know this is a good boost for Miles' confidence, and they want Miles confident. They believe in him. They want him to believe in himself more. So these are the kids I have in the program. They're quick to compliment others, not brag about themselves, and they're trying to uplift a teammate in Heidi and try to make him feel better about himself, more confident, and they know a more confident Miles will mean better wins for us down the road.
Now, you mentioned the other day that you know, pretty clear that you guys played better away from Gwath than in Gwath. Now you've had another game where you've struggled. Why do you think that is? I mean, have you got any more answers after tonight?
It's the same old thing. Like, we have them on the road, and they eat together, and then we send them to their rooms. We know they're not going out, and they're in their rooms. They're getting naps. They're resting. They're getting rest. We got more film sessions on the road than we have at home. And so at home, they have parents in town for games, and so when they go back to their apartments, their parents may be there. And that's not a bad thing, but they're not getting the same rest they might get on the road when no one else is there. So it's them learning how to prepare themselves for a home game is different than a road game because they've got distractions at home. There's distractions. There's people in town to see them play, want to see them before the game, and so maybe they're not getting the rest they need and the concentration, the thought process leading in the game because there's other stuff going on in their lives at home that isn't on the road.
It was a really hard-fought game. They punched us in the mouth to start, and we all regrouped together, and we came back for the hard-fought win.
Yeah, no, I think it's seems like a lot of the games that we've been playing a lot recently. I don't know if it's us not coming out ready to play early in the game or the other team just being so energized and stuff. So definitely got socked in the mouth early, but happy with how we how we reacted and were able to finish the game.
Obviously, you know, in a game like this, there's going to be so many emotions, right? Back and forth, especially during the second half. How do you stay composed?
You know, it's actually pretty easy to stay composed when everything's going your way. It's really the opposite. Like, I think for me, just staying with it in the first half, you know, trying to fight through frustration. You know, a lot of the teams in the league starting to play me really physical, which has led me to get off to really slow starts the past few games. And for me, I just got to stay with it, trust my teammates, thank my teammates. You know, they did a great job during halftime. The coaches, you know, getting on me the right way, telling me to stay in the game, that they need me, and I was able to come out second half. And you know, that's when shots are falling. That's when it's easy to stay composed and, you know, go out there on the defensive end and fly around and stuff like that. So it's more about when it's not going in.
You just mentioned it, you know, the rough scoring in the first half, like the last couple of games. What do you tell yourself at halftime to come out in the second half to explode the way you have?
Trust your work. I know what I'm capable of on the basketball court. I'm starting to get a feel for how other teams are viewing me on the basketball court, and you know, they're making it really hard for me to get going. So just trust my work, and you know, I'd say just carry momentum. Once you make one, once you see one go through, just, you know, keep rocking out.
Miles, could you just describe what you felt when you hit that big three-pointer late in the game to give your team the lead? I mean, you hadn't led since the first minute of the game. It blew the roof off the place. Just what are you feeling in that moment?
Just relieved, you know, more relieved that I'm finally seeing one go in. You know, stayed with it, and you know, I got to see it blossom at the end.
Miles, it's been a kind of a crazy last couple of weeks, particularly after Colorado State game, a lot of NBA talk, picking an agent, and what you just said. How much of that has been a distraction? And I mean, it's something the kids just don't have a you know, playbook for.
Yeah, I wouldn't say as much as a distraction. You know, I think it's more motivation. You know, Goon's in that same boat where you look at Goon when he's on the basketball court and you know he's going to play at the next level someday. And with that, you know, I think it's more you feel the respect that other people are starting to give you. That's one. But two, for me, I think it's more just motivation because I put so much work in to get to this point, and I'm just happy to hear my name being talked about and stuff like that. But, you know, if you don't play well, all that goes right out the window. So, I mean, that's all I'm focused on at the end of the day, getting wins and playing well with my teammates.
Magoon talked the other night about focus and staying locked in. Do you feel like you turned a corner a little bit this season with back-to-back now big games?
Oh yeah, you know, coming off that big game, that was probably my best game of the season, last game. And, you know, I've been doing pretty well in practice, too. I've stayed locked in longer in practice, and that's helped carry over for the games.
Miles, what was it like to defend Josh Sdsu out there, if I'm saying his last name correctly?
Yeah. Shoot. I mean, he was shooting the lights out the ball early. You know, it's frustrating when you have a hand there, and, you know we know he's a capable shooter, but, you know, I think his game is more of trying to get to the paint, and when he's able to hit 3 threes early in the game like that and get going, you know, it puts a lot of stress on you as a defender because now you think you got to short close a guy, but instead you got to really run at a guy who's a really good driver. So, yeah, no, hats off to him. He played a great game. I'm just glad we were able to kind of adjust in the second half and, you know, limit. Because, I mean, earlier I thought he was about to have 50 on us, so I'm just glad we were able to limit him towards the second half of the game.
Guys, historically, San State has had some of its worst performances in red jerseys.
Yeah, we're trying to break the curse, but I guess just.
Are you guys superstitious at all? I mean, do you kind of like? I mean, there was a team I think that basically voted to get rid of them because it was getting so bad.
I mean, we're not as superstitious as the past few years. You know, you got a whole new team, so there's not really traditions or superstitions to keep. So for us, I mean, we see red jerseys. It's something different from the white and blacks, and we kind of like just going to show off in new jerseys and stuff. But yeah, I mean, shoot, one day we'll be able to get one done convincingly with the Reds on.
Magoon, one of the things that Coach said after the last game was he was looking to see you play consistently 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You played 34 minutes for the game tonight. You know, what were you doing as the game went along to help you stack those minutes on top of each other and continue to impact the game on both ends?
You know, I was really just trying to focus on one possession at a time. I had like a couple bad plays at the start of the game, got a little frustrated, and I was just like, just think next play, what can I do to help my team win?
What mind when San Jose State put another 7-footer in the game specifically to defend you?
I wasn't really thinking I wasn't thinking that hard on it. I just shot. I knew he was gonna jump for the shot fake. I kept shot faking, driving him, getting paint touches.
Is there anybody rivalry when you play against a guy from Sdsu?
I mean, I definitely do go a little harder every time I play against another South Sudanese person, but I still I just have a natural respect for them because we're from the same area. So.
What about the tribes? Do you look at that and say, okay, did you tribe?
I didn't get to see ask him what tribe he is, but I personally I don't look too. I mean, I joke around like the Nuer Dinka tribe, but I don't look too deep in that.
Earlier in the season, there are shots that you were taking tonight that you would pass up. You pump fake, drive, kick, and that'd be it. It looked like tonight you were, really the first time, you were aggressively trying to look for shots. How does that sort of transformation happen with you?
Oh, I was just my shots have been falling a little more in my workout, so I have a little more confidence, and I'm just trying to take the right ones. The ones that I'm comfortable taking, and it worked out well.
For both of you, why do you think it is you guys play so much better on the road?
I think just the type of personalities we all have as a team. We kind of like being hated. We kind of like being the villains. So when you're able to walk into another person's arena and try to go get one in front of another person's arena, it feels good. But I mean, after being here for 3 years, I know what Viejas is like, and you're not supposed to lose in Viejas. So it's been stressed to us multiple times as a team. We're not allowed to drop one more in here this year. We already lost 3 in here. I honestly think that's more than I did my freshman and sophomore year. I think we lost 1 both years.
6 in the last 5 years.
Yeah, so 3 is definitely way too much, and we're going to try to value Viejas as much as possible.
How about you? What do you think the reasons are that you guys play better on the road?
Yeah, I feel like it's a little more pressure. We're in front of our home crowd, so we want to perform a little better. But yeah, that's all I got. I'm not really sure.
Want to play the rest of your games on the road?
I want to play in front of our Viejas fans and the crowd and our students. We just got to clean up and play a more complete game when we're at home.
Go ahead.
There was some booing in the first half when you had a bad stretch. Does that affect you guys? Does that motivate you, or does it make you?
I mean, you definitely don't want to hear fans boo, but I mean, when you're really in the moment, it was. I don't think I heard it. So
I didn't even notice it.
So I mean, shoot, there's gonna be the select fans that are gonna be really passionate about what's going on, and it was ugly in the first half. So I think they were fair to be passionate about that. I think our whole entire team was pretty passionate about it. We weren't happy with what was going on in the game. But, I mean, end of the day, we love the support. But when it comes down to hate and all that, we don't look outside of our circle, which is the 16, 17 guys that are on our team. So
Every time you guys made a little bit of run, they would hit a 3. They hit another 3. They had 4 times.
shot the ball.
At what point did you guys kind of feel like, okay, we're over the hump, we got this?
Once the Byrd hit the 3 to take the lead, and the crowd went up, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna win this game.
Oh, that late? Do you have
I mean, when you're playing a team who's notorious for driving the ball really well, and they had 15 made 3s and 6 made 2s, you just got to tip your cap to them. They shot the ball pretty much 50% from 3. I think it was 48% from 3 in the whole entire game, 15 for 31. So, I mean, end of the day, you got to tip your cap to them. They shot the ball really well. But, I mean, us just being able to take those punches and go back and execute on the offensive end, that's pretty big for us and shows growth.
Any further questions?
I got one more, too. Shout out Heidi, man. We, as players, we see a lot of this stuff, too. And for Heidi to step up for an injured Jared today and lead the team in plus-minus, that's really big. And, just shout out Heidi. I'm proud of how he played tonight.
Just expanding on that, he played really well against Nevada in some spots. I think
Yeah,
he's second.
definitely.
Plus minus. Why is he, and that's not coincidence, why is he
Playing well, it's mid-season, getting comfortable. He's moving really well right now. He feels good, and you just roll with that. So we're happy with how he's playing, and he's helped us get 2 big wins. So.
But what's he bringing?
He's just bringing that spark plug off the bench. He's a great offensive rebounder, And even when he doesn't get the offensive rebound, he somehow gets a hand on it, and it gives somebody else opportunity to go get an offensive rebound and stuff like that. Goon's been offensive rebounding really well too. So both of them just provide great offensive rebounding, and perfect size. And Viola, who's a really, really good big, scores the ball really well, had 0 points tonight thanks to Heidi. So
Yeah, that's big time from Heidi.
so shout out Heidi.
Do you like playing with him?
Oh yeah, I love playing with Heidi. Man.
Roommate.
Yeah, that's my roommate. He still remember one play where he offensive rebound with 2 guys and tipped me the ball for a free dunk. Yeah, I love playing with him.
Thank him for that tonight.
Yeah.